This is the February 2nd meeting of the 2026 of the New Orleans Cultural Council. Local cultural councils serving every city and town in Massachusetts offer grants to projects in the arts, humanities, and sciences that will be the benefit to their community. And with that, I will call this meeting to order.
Can we just double check who is on Zoom? I see
So,
Andrea.
Mike? Yep.
I see
yep.
Mike. Is that it right now?
Mike and Andrea.
Mike and Andrea.
Is that Catherine? Do you
Catherine said she was going to join on
I
Zoom.
see a name over there, but I can't read it with my glasses.
I only see
I
Mike
think
and
Catherine
Andrea.
was going to be on it.
Oh, no, Catherine, I do see Catherine's name up
Okay,
there.
Yeah.
excellent, awesome. Great, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, so we have it. Look at us. Good job, everyone.
all right, well done.
This is our thing.
Okay.
Okay,
Secretary, you're up.
Okay, give me 1 second, guys, just make a note here. Okay, so you will find, I know I already sent around the notes for the meeting of January 5th. I also have passed out a hard copy, so you can have that hard copy. So I guess we need a motion to approve the minutes from January 2026.
does anyone move to approve the,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
do you have a second?
Second.
Mike, are you in favor?
Yes.
Catherine, are you in favor?
Unfortunately, she won't respond to the request to be let in, so she's not able to speak, but as soon as she does respond positively to that request, she'll be able to join the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Just FYI, one other thing, I have a couple other things after that.
Okay.
Well, we can approve
Real
the
quick.
minutes, so.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, anyone in the room opposed to approving the minutes? All right, the minutes are approved.
Awesome.
Okay, Ellen, what else?
Yes, thank you,
Wait,
thank you.
Oh.
Brian, you gotta do it right.
We have to do it? Okay. All right.
I just finished reading the complaints, open meeting law complaints, and it looks like Catherine is with us. So could you please go back and just, you can't shortcut it, you've gotta do
Okay.
each
Well, she
first.
can't-
Okay,
Okay, sorry.
Catherine,
We can't hear her.
Catherine, if you have received the notes, can you perhaps type up a note in Zoom?
Well,
letting us-
Catherine, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I was gonna say, she's there now.
Oh, you can hear us now, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, great. Do you vote in favor of approving the minutes?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
thank you.
Ellen, do you vote in favor of approving the
I
minutes?
do.
Yes.
Yes?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, the minutes are approved.
Okay. Then also at the last meeting, I passed around a list with, to update contact information, but I need to get, I still need information from a couple of people. I'm going to contact them directly to get their contact information. I also wanted to note that I had written the press release about the grants that were approved, and that has gone out, and then there may be an addendum to that.
And I passed out a hard copy. I gave one to Jay, and I gave one to
Awesome.
Sandra down there in case someone didn't get a chance to read it.
Terrific, that's great. And
But I know you emailed it out to everyone, right? Yeah.
not the press release, I don't email
Oh,
it to
okay.
everyone.
Oh, okay, got
Just
it.
make sure it gets approved.
So I
by-
brought some copies.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you.
You know, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
I like killing trees.
Well, hey, look, those lumberjacks gotta make a living too, so.
Was that everything from your secretary report? Yes?
Yes, it is,
You're all
yes.
set?
I'm set,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so, I guess that is, oops, this is not, I guess, so I'm next on the agenda, Brian?
Yes, so next is the treasurer's report, so Heather, what do you have for us?
Well, a couple things. So, acceptance letters have gone out, and the denials were taken care of. However, I guess there is some additional money that's left in our account that we need to grant out. I think it was just an accumulation of, things that didn't happen, because I kind of brought that to the attention of everyone a few meetings ago. So I was thinking we could probably just fully fund a few of the grants that we already approved, which we did after a meeting, after one of our last meetings, I think in December or something like that, so we
Mhm.
can address that as a sub, after the meeting.
Like an addendum after the meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yes,
So that's nothing we need to decide like for this meeting right now.
Right.
But I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention and also just give everyone an update on the different things that, different deadlines that have been met. And then let everyone know that I did type up, I'm just trying to think of some of the action items from last meeting. Seems like it was like years ago. But one of them was to just type up a list of the grants we approved, and I did post in the town hall, I posted in our bulletin board here, and then the little standee, when you come in, I put it there as well, so.
Great.
And Ellen used that to type up the press release, so that has all been done. And then, also, just a follow-up from last meeting, I needed to type up to Tom, just our request for, potentially seeing if, for town meeting, if we could maybe, if the town would kind of grant us additional funding. We usually get $2,000. I had typed up, based on our last conversation at our meeting, just some rationale as to what we could do with it, just an additional $1,000. So like a total of $3,000 every year instead of $2,000. And Tom had asked just to type him up like a rationale as to what that money would go, that additional money would go to, and so I did that. He confirmed that he received it, so that's all set. And I haven't followed up with him, but I can follow up with him just to see if there's any next steps, but he did get my email, so.
Okay.
I did that, so
All
I
right,
did
good.
those two
Check.
things that were on
Check,
my
check.
list.
Well done.
I think that was it, that was on my list. I'm looking at Ellen, because Ellen typed up a nice little,
Yeah, and I just need to, can I just follow up before I
yeah.
get one of those? So there were no responses to the grant denials, correct? Nobody there was no?
No.
Okay, excellent, that's what I wanted to make sure I
Okay.
heard. Okay, thank you. And I can, if you want me to check that meeting,
And I think that was all the follow-ups that we had.
When do they start using, if they get accepted?
They can start using them, I mean, it's for this year,
I
so,
forget what date, on their programs, which I still have, but I don't remember the dates.
some of
when
them
they're
start
going from.
as
Is
early
it
as,
June or May or?
some of them start as
now, or-
early as this now,
Oh, could be
yeah.
right now.
Yep,
And once again, we only get 5,000 from the town or two?
so we get, from the town, we get $2,000 currently, but that we use for different things that, separate from the Mass Cultural Council grants, the 2,000 we can use to do other, other activities
Whatever.
outside of the grants.
Yeah.
We can use it to grant separate, separate grants outside of the MCC, but the MCC, that's from the state, they give us, as they do every cultural council around the state, they give us some money to grant out to, local organizations. And that amount usually stays the same. So this year it was $5,700 that we have. And that's,
Five, a little
and we
more
use
than
that to
five.
make that, the grant meeting that we did in December, we use that money for those grants that have to be submitted through the MCC site in order for us to grant that money to them.
And we're asking the state for more money or the town?
The town,
The town.
yeah.
Well, the town definitely should give us more money.
Well, I think they bundle it all into like one,
Yeah.
So we'll see. So I typed it up and,
You don't get it if you don't ask.
yeah, and I provided
That's
some
right.
additional, activities that
Why
we had
can't
been
we
thinking
ask the
of.
state too for some more money?
Well,
Everybody get-
technically, if we had a program that we wanted to ask the state for money, we could submit a grant to, they always give like a little shout out that cultural councils can also request money from
I
the
think-
MCC. So we could always, if we had a program that we wanted to kind of, type up, every so often they'll send out a little, a note saying if we have anything that we want to submit to the MCC, we are able to do that, so.
I feel like we talked about that.
That might be
Meeting
something,
in the past.
that
Did
might
we
be
ever
something
talk-
we try to, we just never, I think, have a solid,
Right.
like our grants.
Yeah.
We want a solid plan.
Before we
and-
call them up and be
Right.
like, hey, we
But
might have
what
this
kind
thing
of
we might
grant
wanna
would
do.
we be looking for that you would consider solid?
Well, I think we just need, we need to know, where's the money going for? Where is it gonna happen?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what are the dates, like
But I
those
meant the
things.
idea of a grant.
Well, that's the
I mean,
thing.
the grant.
Well, we don't
itself.
have any ideas right now, so.
That's what I meant. I don't mean,
Yeah.
the other.
Right, so I don't think we can go to the state and ask for grant money so we can fund more grants.
Right,
I think we would have to have our own project that we
Right.
wanted to put together,
yeah.
right? So, and we've
Exactly.
talked about other
Oh,
things.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, so it could potentially,
That
like,
we
if-
would sponsor the grant.
Right, but we've
In
talked-
other words, we would sponsor the.
well, we would apply for the grant money, and then that money could go towards, like, the murals that we talked about on businesses down in the center of town, or the movies in the park, or any other ideas that we
That's
come
what I
up with.
wanted to know.
Sure.
Just in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, because I mean, we've been talking for a few months now about,
Sorry, my
these
back's-
ideas and cultivating these ideas. And that is probably something that we should consider is if, is
Yeah.
trying to get some grant money from the state to make these ideas happen. I think that's not a bad idea. I think it's a great idea, actually. So,
Yeah, so maybe that's something we can, Secretary, maybe that's something we can talk about in an upcoming meeting, and, I can always look on.
How should I word that? How would you
Just
like me to word that?
exploring, MCC.
so I think, but I think that it goes into like the idea, like the future projects that we've had, right? And I think, we've been talking about these for a few months, and yeah, maybe.
Maybe that
That's-
just bundles
that's-
into that greater
I think-
conversation.
I think so,
We would- yeah.
tries to get us to a point where we're pulling the trigger on some of these.
Yeah,
Brian?
because we've been talking about them
Yes,
since May.
yes.
Yeah.
Could I suggest that the agenda item for a future meeting include not just cooperating with the state or with the town about getting more money, but what you see, what differentiates you in terms of, do you originate projects of your own? Are you the bank for collective projects? Are you a participant with matching funds? And I think inviting Amanda to a meeting to talk about kind of the cooperation, because your state mission is directly to fund artisan projects.
Yes,
Your town mission might be to participate or initiate or be a partner with very specific ideas that you're having that are, by the way, also fabulous for the cultural district or for recreation, or, I just think you gotta make yourself part of the broader team and understand when you use different funds, who's benefiting from them and how you justify them.
okay.
Right, but we
Our
can,
budget this year, we're in the budget process right now. And the budget is incredibly tight. We're going to be going to the taxpayers with the new fire station and sewers and other things. So justifying why we should pay more taxes to fund things that aren't fully vetted, thought through, and run through all of kind of the town checkpoints. And you know that you can justify to any resident that their tax dollars is being leveraged for the good of the town, not just in a silo. I would highly recommend that you
So,
get, that you run your ideas around before, and I believe that the warrant closes in March, so you don't have too much time.
So
We may not do it right
so
now.
we do invite Amanda and Tom to our meetings now, so they do come, they have been to the last couple.
Yes.
Amanda did invite myself and Ellen, on Monday, we have a meeting with some of the other councils, so just like what you
Great.
said, to collaborate and to understand what everyone is kind of working on and working towards. So that meeting is on Monday, so what we'll do
Great.
is we'll come back to our cultural council with an update on, how that went, where that kind of leaves the cultural council, what our role is in that greater collaborative group. And then,
Heather,
the
that's
second,
perfect, because I've been on Amanda's case to convene a roundtable, and it
Yes.
sounds like it's starting.
yes,
And so
Monday.
You can empower you or whoever is going to represent the OCC at that roundtable as far as you need to, with any votes you take during the meeting.
Okay,
So when you begin to report back, if you report back and you need action to be able to report to that larger group, you would take it during an agenda item
Okay.
and be empowered to do it.
Okay, that sounds good, yeah, and it could be, because an example I think that you had brought up last time, this was a few months ago when we were talking about the murals, you were saying like the Economic Development Group is talking about that, so, that's just an example of
That's what we
ways that
said
we
a
can
long time
all
ago.
contribute to, to something for the
Absolutely.
town, so.
Movies in
The movie, yes, yeah, all these ideas we're all talking about in our own silos.
Well, and also, I was thinking that every year, there's the Celebrate Our Waters beach sculpture thing that rears its head.
Yes.
There's a lot of good that can come of this.
Yeah, definitely. There's 3 ideas right there that we can all collaborate on. So, so we've done a lot of the discussion already. It's just like putting pen to paper and trying to figure out, who takes what piece, or just dividing and conquering, I guess, as they say.
Yeah.
So that's in motion.
Great.
Anyway.
Awesome, thank you for,
God, I had a lot of good intel tonight.
you seriously. I don't
Okay,
know.
I'm done. No,
Yeah.
I
There's
don't.
our secret weapon.
So those are kind of my
Okay.
updates. And Ellen said I touched on everything that I was responsible for. So. So yeah, like I said, I'll just reiterate that, and Brian, we mentioned this to you, but Ellen and I are gonna meet with Amanda and that group on Monday. I think it's, 10 to 12 or
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
And
I think it's Monday.
again, to talk about just how we can collaborate with some of the other committees. And there's gonna be members from other committees there too. So like Andrea said, it's gonna be a little bit of a
Yeah.
roundtable, so we'll,
Yeah, and then then they'll also talk with the complete cultural council.
Yes.
At a later date.
yes.
Okay.
So we'll report back to how that went and just some of the topics that came up, and share anything that Amanda shares with us. We'll make sure we share at our next meeting.
Okay, great. Well,
So-
and that kind of leads me, so that's, number 4 on the agenda was 2026 programming, and a lot of that has already been covered by this particular part of the conversation. One thing we probably do need to talk about is the art show.
Oh, yes. Forgot about that.
So, I had a brief conversation with Ryan Birchall, who is the art teacher at the high school, and she's the sort of the head of the art department. And the class that I'm teaching over there now may end up falling underneath the fine arts department at Nauset, so she may end up being my direct supervisor at some point or another.
She's great.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, I love her.
And it sounded to me like she would be keen on figuring out a way to do the art show. So you and I think still need to schedule that coffee with her, and just figure out like what does that look like, and if we are doing that, how can the schools maybe take the lead in
Doing more.
right? Because I do feel like when we got the artwork last year, there was still a lot of work in terms of
Yeah, so we could have.
matting
There's
it.
a lot of
and-
work
So why
here.
don't you
Like-
just tell me what, because you're with her when you see her at school?
Yeah,
Give me like this sometime this week. I can look at my
propose a
calendar.
day at a time.
Propose a day,
Yeah.
and I'll just swing by, because right after school ends or something. I don't know if
Yeah.
that works, or just.
Well, I'll talk to her and see what works for her.
Talk to her
Yeah.
and see what works,
Why don't-
yeah.
Why do we have to do 3 schools? Why can't it just be the high school and the middle school here? Why-
That's something that we can discuss. I think
mean,
traditionally it's been.
It seems to me we're spread out very thin as far as doing the work and getting all the stuff, et cetera. And I often wondered why we even did all the other schools. The children go here, basically, or New Orleans, go to the middle school, from the other towns, don't they?
Yes, I
I
do
mean,
believe kids from
Provincetown.
Orleans, I do believe kids
And
from
the high,
Orleans.
and the high school, and just leave it in New Orleans, so we only have one school that we're dealing with. It might be the entire elementary and the middle school plus the high school, or if that would be too many people, do it just the high school,
Yeah, I think that there are kids who live in Orleans who also go to the charter school. And so I think that
Oh, yeah.
and again.
Well, the
this-
charter
this-
school is
this-
different than the charter school, that's, so I can understand that. But we also do it to the tech school and Monomoy, didn't we?
No,
No.
it was the middle school, the high school, and charter school.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I think you can't leave out one school.
I
If
don't
you're gonna
think-
do the
yeah.
art show, I don't think you can really leave
How
out
many
one
people, a
school.
lot of people go to the charter school?
I don't know the numbers.
I don't know, but
We
I
don't know
think
the
it's,
numbers.
because I think the idea is to be like, Orleans regional
Yeah.
Right.
schools.
Yeah.
There are,
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't, yeah.
I think it would be hard to turn them away
Yeah.
Right.
at this point after
Oh,
their.
well, I forgot the charter school. No, I would include them too.
Yes.
I mean, I forgot about that.
So I will reach out to Ryan
Yeah.
tomorrow at
Yeah,
school.
yeah, that would be great. This
And-
weekend would be, is
And we'll
good
we'll
for me.
we'll
Yeah.
prioritize having this meeting because we are coming to a pretty close to a drop dead point where we've
Yeah,
got
I can come
I would say by
over.
the March,
I can
but
be pretty flexible with timing,
okay,
too.
yeah, and I would
Yeah.
say by March's meeting, we have to decide one way or another if what we're gonna do, because that would give us about 6 weeks to put it together at that point.
Yeah, I don't know who, and then
And
there
we'd
has
have
to
to
be
decide who's
someone who
doing it.
will, is
Yeah.
willing to do it,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, okay, anybody have anything else that
So
we?
you guys will do that, so Brian, you're gonna
Yeah.
do that this
I
week?
I will talk to Ryan tomorrow and set up a
Yeah,
meeting.
just text me, Brian,
And
even
we'll-
as soon as you
yeah.
talk to her, just shoot me a
Yeah.
text with some times or dates at work, and I'll see if I can
Good.
just coordinate, we'll just do it.
And so
Yeah.
you got, the point of the conversation is to what, just like,
Just to kind of get her sense of like, do we
do it?
need to do the art show? Like
Okay,
is it
got
something
it.
that the students feel?
Got it, got it.
So,
And if
I
we
was
do,
going to
like-
meet with her then,
Yeah.
then I've been away, and Brian kindly said, well, I see her every day, I'll chat with her and see what she says, and then she's like, yeah, we'd still like to meet,
Yeah.
all three of
Okay,
us,
okay.
so that's the plan, just
Yeah.
to see how we can best serve the students,
Yeah,
and,
I could tell by the look in her
Yeah.
face when I suggested not having it that she wasn't comfortable with that idea.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I totally understand that, and yet somebody's gonna have to.
Somebody's
step
gonna
up,
have to
not-
put it together,
And I can't
yeah.
do it, so.
yeah, so, okay, so
that's all.
you're gonna meet with her, you're gonna be pulled into it.
Yes.
You're gonna kind of temp check,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Uh,
Yeah,
And just,
yeah.
how
we'll
she
be
And
real
maybe bring-
specific about what.
And
what-
brainstorm how it can
What
happen.
and if she's really interested, that's fabulous, and what can she.
maybe how to simplify it or something,
can-
or,
All right, I
I don't know.
think the thing is I think the main thing is because the artwork came to us last year not necessarily ready to go.
Believe me, I have a whole list of the things
Yeah.
that I think would be useful to
Oh,
talk
good,
about.
okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
not worried
Great.
about that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, it has to be, it has to be matted, it has to be like ready to hang, and anyway, yeah, 'cause I
Okay,
mean, we were here for
perfect.
hours doing that stuff last
Yeah.
year, so, all right.
okay, good.
I was just gonna add, like, if we also need to, like, I'm happy to be, like, if a group of us just wanna help at least the day of, that helps reduce, get a, like, if we need help, like, I'm happy to help in terms of actually hanging stuff or making that easier so it doesn't fall on.
That's awesome, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's not necessarily.
Even if like a group of us do it and like we just hammer it out. Like,
Yeah, and that's how it happened last year. I mean, it has,
Okay.
there's a little bit of organization to it in terms of like,
Just so you,
Yeah.
just so
Go ahead,
We can
Ellen.
understand
Why don't you
that.
explain it?
the steps involved. So initially, what I would do is, we contact the teachers, make sure everybody's on board, find a date that works for them, find a date that works for the opening, find out when they need the work back. Then I would create a bunch of documents, like invitations, and everything is printed, created and printed, so that the teachers don't have to do the work. So it's like creating invitations to send. I create a flyer to put up in the school or put around town. Then it's a matter of, having them make sure, they know what they're giving us, setting up the date to pick up artwork. I create these forms that are basically sign-off forms so that we can create a registration system. So there can be a paper trail with the object, and then separately from it. And then they fill out all of those. They're responsible for getting the work into a format where it can be hung on this system, because this system is really made for framed artwork, not for the kinds of things that kids produce. And that's part of our hiccup. So it's not that there isn't a way around it, but it would take some energy, effort, and in terms of the teachers, it's really difficult because they don't have frames for everything, so we can't expect them to frame everything, but everything needs to be sturdy enough. And then once everything comes in, it's a matter of registering everything, because heaven forbid anything should get lost. So It's like registering, documenting, making lists, taking photographs of all the artwork so you can match it up, making sure it's all carefully put around, carefully sort of organized, you know what goes what. Then it's, from that, it's a matter of, you know, it's installation, but before installation, you also have to write labels and, you know, get all those corrected and make sure they're mounted for the artwork. And then it's a matter of sort of curating how they're going to go up and then brainstorming how to put up things that are not quite as sturdy. And because we really care about the artwork that's produced by the students, it behooves us to make sure that it's secure and not something that somebody can bump into or that will fall down. There's a lot of humidity in the space, so one of the issues that's been is not just that things are sturdy, but that the humidity can release some of the, any kind of adhesive that's being used, so then something is not secure. So it's sort of curating it, what goes where, how does that look up, you know, actually getting everything up, making sure it's up, blah, blah, blah. Then, you know, press release has to go out about the event, invitations to the, you know, town and other people have to go out because you want to have a really nice event, everybody has to organize, you know, what are the refreshments going to be, with just like the kinds of
Yeah.
things you would expect, like,
it's a
you
lot.
know, it's a lot, and then you have to do it backwards, to
Yeah.
go back to make sure that when it's all over, because you want to make sure that everything gets back to everybody who sent it, and that it's in the same condition it arrived in. So I think that was it.
Wow, that,
Yeah.
you said some things I
Yes.
didn't even know. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
wow,
it was a lot,
Ellen,
yeah.
you've been working on all
Yeah.
that.
And then also last year, we had the added benefit of the high school work had to come down earlier than the rest of it because they had like
Yeah,
a
and then it
senior
has to
art
be-
show.
Yeah, then it has
So we
to
had
be,
to- So we had to pull
Right.
we had to pull the high school stuff down and then the middle school and charter school stayed up for another 2 weeks.
yeah, and reorganize it,
Yeah.
so it's
It's
just.
a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I think, you know, for me, just because I have been a museum curator, you
You're
know,
hypersensitive to some
I'm
of this
hyper,
stuff.
very sensitive to these things. And in fact, I feel even more sacred about children's art than I do about some other things that I have curated for exhibits, just because it means a lot to those kids. And I want to make sure that whatever we have up is displayed properly, looks good when it's up, so they can be proud of it, and then also that it's returned to them in the same condition. So essentially what it is the hanging system, I would say, if you had to, the thing that makes it difficult amongst all the other paperwork things, is that this is not a hanging system designed for a children's art show. So we have to sort of decide, we've talked about a couple of different things, like just putting up huge pieces, hanging huge pieces of foam core, attaching things to that, so that they're not curling or falling on the ground. You know, it's just, we want to be respectful.
That was the
and-
big thing. I
yeah.
think it has
So I
to come to
think
us already on
there
foam
are-
core. A lot of it didn't.
No, I mean, what, again, probably like I could, you know, everybody's eyes are gonna like roll back in their heads if I keep going, but, you know, maybe there's another way to mount a substrate in a way, because we can't affix to the wall, see, like, so this is like my biggest nightmare. I used to have nightmares about having to install exhibits on cinder block. We're not allowed to engage the walls. If we were, it would be different. We could probably figure out other ways, but we can only use the hanging system, which does not, again, work with something that's matted or on paper. So there are solutions, so it's just a matter, if it's committed to, then those solutions would have to be explored with the teachers to come up with something that is safe and secure. You know, just so we all sleep for the month of April or May, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So when you guys meet up with her, you're obviously gonna go through all that. And then maybe for the March meeting, we can, well, maybe you can float some like April-ish dates
Yeah.
to her, like just, you know, just a few dates. I think what we
Well,
did,
when is Arts Week?
I think when we did
But
last.
that's National Youth Art Month is March, so
Oh, it's
last year we
March.
did it in
Oh, I thought it was
April.
April.
No,
I mean-
April, we did it to align.
To align
our
with the-
kickoff for Arts Week.
for
Andrew, do you
Arts
know
Week.
when Arts
Yeah.
Week is? She's looking.
Yes, I don't remember offhand, I think it's the 10th through the 17th, but don't quote me.
Okay.
That's the-
And,
I
that's the
don't-
week. That's the week
I-
before.
in
vacation.
April, right?
Yeah,
April.
and I'm just going to add to that, that maybe is something we can interrogate, whether that's important, because my sense of things is that parents, family members, friends pour in the night of the event. I don't know that there's much of an attendance after that. Yes, it's great because the town likes it, people who walk in.
Yeah.
Occasionally I would be here doing something or fixing something. Occasionally I might see someone coming in, like a grandparent or something. So I don't know that it matters in terms of the other things that are
Right,
that are
like,
going
like,
on.
like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
aren't,
Yeah, so I don't think we
yeah,
have to like worry so, I think that's a nice idea, I don't really
I just
think
like the
it-
Okay.
time frame being pushed back instead of being March. That's all
Yeah.
I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I
And
think
the
March
weather's,
is-
the weather's
Gives us a little
better.
more
Oh, yeah,
time.
Yeah.
yeah.
And look, maybe May isn't a bad idea, depending on what's going on with the high school and all of
Well,
that, right? I
except
mean,
that they,
Well,
Can I just
graduate.
yeah.
yeah,
throw a little history? In the past, when we had a lot bigger groups doing the kids' art show, it traveled. Before it came to town hall, it used to go to Snow Library for, I don't know whether, I don't think it was a month, but then it went to the old firehouse.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
do know,
Oh, wow.
Andrea, that the high school at least seems to be following something like that, and that they had to take their work out early because it was going to Snow Library, but not the other students.
Well, I think my question is,
Yeah.
for the amount of work it takes you guys, the other question is, what's the best exhibit time? How long to run the exhibit, given it's so much work? And
Well-
we benefit, those of us in and out of this building every day benefit from it and enjoy it. But it was just for your thought process, for your calendar.
Well, personally, I say if it's not going to be in March for National Youth Art Month, then it doesn't, one could question, doesn't even have to be in the spring, could it be in October? Can we say, look, we're gonna,
Well, maybe those are questions that
maybe
you
these are
ask.
questions that we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
talk
Yeah.
with her, and that might be the better approach. Again, if we're not, and I don't, again, in terms of our public and who we're serving and the students, I don't think we will be disappointing anyone if it's not associated with National Youth Art Month.
Right.
I think people are
Right.
just happy to see their kids work, their
Yeah.
grandchildren, their friends work,
Yeah.
all that. So,
Yep, I
that
agree.
might be the thing to do, and that would give, again, these are all things we can discuss with Ryan as a starting point before we have a conversation with all the teachers, but, that might work better, in terms of them starting the year and thinking about a project. And again, there are things we could do where we could say, things have to be a certain size or certain whatever. We can work, that could be worked out. But I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think they need to have kind of enough time in the saddle.
Yeah,
Perhaps in an academic year.
Yeah.
To have done however many projects, give them enough of,
which is a little bit of a
body
disadvantage to
work,
doing it in October.
But-
body of work
yeah.
to draw on.
but the
And
advantage,
find their
yeah,
best or their favorite, that they have to have,
no, that's,
they literally have to be their own auteur kind of
yeah,
thing.
Catherine, that's a really good point. No, so just so, FYI, the teachers curate it, we don't curate it. So they make
Right.
selections, but if we did wait till September, and then we can talk to Ryan is, so for example, what if she's like, well, I could do a project where I'm making this up. All the students are given a framed canvas the same size and asked to depict, their favorite,
I brought that up a few
Story,
meetings ago.
yes.
Can we give them like
give them
one
that,
project
something,
that?
one project for them, and maybe, because what you do notice, and looking at the art show, is that the work that we're getting, like say from the high school or the middle school or the charter school, often the students are responding to the same prompt. So what if we can work with them to establish the prompt and the medium, and then maybe we can then spring for something, and if they were canvases, that would definitely be a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the
Okay,
conversation.
so it sounds like you guys have a
Yeah.
lot of good content to go into this meeting and talk to her. I'm assuming you are just making this list of all these great things you're gonna ask her? Is that
Oh,
what
yeah,
you're
no,
doing?
that's
Okay.
the second one, yeah, no,
Okay.
I believe it's, yes.
Okay,
It's
so
up here.
so why don't we follow up and just wrap this up?
Yeah.
Because right now we're just kind of speculating.
Yeah,
like-
yep, we can do, yeah. So I'll reach out to Ryan tomorrow, And then Ellen and I will let you know what she says, and then we'll finalize when that
Perfect,
meeting's
yeah,
gonna
just
happen.
give me a text, shoot me a text.
Yep.
That's great.
Okay, is there anything else anybody has?
I was just wondering if anyone had seen the display on the library green, the buoys.
Oh, we
I
talked
haven't
about
seen it,
that
I'm
last
sure I will.
meeting, yeah.
We contributed to that, is that correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
so, sorry, I didn't mention this. So we all talked, well, you were here, Sandra.
Yeah.
So I gathered everyone's feedback, good and bad. I have not, I have a draft written to Tom, because when Tom was here, he said he'd like to see some of the feedback, and I just haven't had a chance to send it to
Okay.
him. So I'm just going
Did you
to
get feedback from me?
compile, I took notes from everything you guys told me,
Okay.
but if you wanna,
That's great.
I took them off, like, if, you know, if you had
Yeah.
texted me about something,
Yeah.
I included that.
Okay.
But if there's any feedback, additional feedback you wanna give me, like, there was a few things that you had said, like, a few meetings ago that I wrote in there. So if anyone has any,
I just want,
what I can do is I can
Yeah, I'll
share,
send them, Heather.
what's that?
I'll send some.
Oh, great,
Yeah,
and I can
thank you.
share it with all of you, what I have typed up so far, and if there's anything I missed,
Okay,
you know, I think we had talked about last time, like, with the snow, it's hard for people to, I think Mike actually brought this up, it's hard for people to get up there to
Yeah.
that sign
Yeah.
to see what the heck it is, so like maybe bringing something closer to the street, so if you're like parked there at the light,
Parking
you
lot
can
or
kind of
something,
see
yeah.
like, oh, that's what these buoys are, like the sign kind of more up by the
it's not
sidewalk.
lighted. I just drove by.
And I already
It's
made
not
that
lighted.
observation,
Yeah.
like, it, you know, like, when you drive by sometimes, well, like, it was lit kind of during the holidays, but now it has, so I wrote all that up, but I can send it to all of you, and if there's
Okay.
anything else that you think I missed, you can just let me know and I can add it.
Okay.
But yeah, Tom was very open to like hearing the feedback, and then when Tom and Amanda were here, they definitely said that it sounded like it's kind of a work in progress, like they're gonna make like different enhancements to it, add more lights to it, do different things to it.
Well, I am curious, we had those wonderful metal sculptures that were lighted all
Yeah,
around
what hap-
town.
yeah.
I thought they were fabulous.
The light sculptures?
yeah, what happened to them? Andrew, do you know what happened to those?
Yeah, that was initiated by Joanna Keeley, which was fantastic, and the Cultural District. They were expensive to commission. And then the problem was maintenance, and some,
Oh.
the town was maintaining some of it. They were trying to get the partner organizations, because it was part of the idea of tour our cultural assets, because they're hosting these lit sculptures. And so, like, I think Cho had one, and
Oh, yeah.
I know the batter is still up at the.
The windmill,
Yeah.
I think, had one.
His leg is still burnt out, it's been, the
What?
poor man had one leg all season.
Yeah, and so, but there was another one up at
Sad.
Depot Square that the town was responsible for. So again, this is why we want that roundtable convened,
Yeah,
because we have these great ideas, but the ongoing maintenance or support or cost, all that stuff needs to be worked through. And this was an initiative that started a long time ago with the OCP, because the idea was blue lights. Somebody came up with all the businesses in town should do blue lights from Christmas. Change those
Blue lights.
sparkle lights
huh,
at Christmas to blue lights after the holidays, so people would know that our town is open for business and worth coming to
So-
in the quietest months of the year. Again, we've had all these great ideas, but giving them legs and stuff to stand on and funding and staff to make sure they happen, no matter where those people are from, whether they're paid or volunteers. Anyway,
so, and Andrew, I think what hopefully will come out of this conversation, this group conversation, is I feel like if everybody could agree what the goal is,
Yeah.
like, is the goal that we're doing these to make sure people know things are open? Like, what is the
That's-
goal? And then we can all figure out how to best achieve the goal, but
And the
like,
goals
I
are
didn't know
different.
that was the goal, for
right,
instance, yeah.
but so I gave these guys a little bit of grief, because it's a great project. It happened outside of the kind of public procurement process, because it was so we have, after the way the sculpture got done at the roundabout at 39, which did not go through a public vetting process.
Oh.
many of us were very, very upset, and a public vetting for art installations, permanent installations, was established. So there is a public process for acquiring art in this community. This is a temporary installation. It was a trial balloon. They're cutting their teeth. They involved the schools. There were so many great things about this, and that's why it's a work in progress. But if that round table is the way things are really going to get legs, because there'll be, so yes, the cultural district is a state-sponsored tourism mandate to use the creative economy. So it features art and locally made things to increase tourism. That's very different than your mission, which is art for art's sake, right? Performances and
no
artists
idea.
making work.
I had no
Yeah.
idea
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
until you just said that.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
all I'm saying is that each of these groups have slightly different motivations, and all these goals are worthy. So when the goals line up, if we talk to each other, we can figure out how the goals line up and move an initiative forward.
Yeah, or have a goal per year for everyone, which
Yeah.
might be easier. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's kind of like getting the sculpture for Celebrate Our Waters done, right? You know, if we have a brainstorm.
I don't even
or
know
Arts
how
Week,
these-
who participates.
where these sculptures went or how they were stored, and I have no idea how the buoys of joy would be stored. Is it intended that they be stored so that they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be good for
I-
10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I cannot answer that. I've not been directly involved in that. I don't have the
We
knowledge.
were,
center,
we
but
were
that-
told that they're, all of them are reusable, they're put together in a way that they'll be easy to disassemble and store, and that they should be good for 10 years.
But
Right.
my immediate point is, I just drove by and they're not lighted, you can't see them. So. what-
Yeah, I have
That's
that
after the
feedback, I
season,
have that
though,
feedback
so maybe-
noted, and I have, an email typed up to address, so.
You know, we contributed a small amount out of our budget to help them with that. I just looked around and I'm like, there's none of the armatures that were lighted, and this buoy of joys, or joy of buoys, whatever, is not lighted, and I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like, what?
I think that's why Tom wanted, he was interested in our feedback, so I told him, you know, we did have some good and bad, and I would make sure that he got it, because I
Okay.
think because we contributed, he wanted to know. And I think Amanda kind of chimed in on our last meeting and said that there are things that they're going to kind of like adjust or fix or enhance for the next iteration. So this is kind of like a starting point, and they're like building off of it from there, but they definitely wanted to hear our feedback, so
Okay.
I'll make sure
And we don't
that.
even know, we're not, so the expectations aren't being publicized yet. Should we expect that seasonal lighting to be up through, you know, the twinkle lights are up, the tree is still lit? You know, we
Yeah.
don't know where we are because the town is probably trying to figure out what it
Yeah.
has the resources for too.
Yep,
So it's good to keep asking the questions because that's how we'll get the answers, right?
yep,
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
yeah.
I think it's neat if they lit the town, you know, the winter months. I think that's beautiful.
I love driving
Take the
through
tree
town when it's all
down,
lit
I mean, the
up.
lights from the tree.
Beautiful.
And I don't know about
I
the
mean,
joy, because
yeah.
everybody that I know, including many people in the library, none of us like it.
Yeah,
I captured your feedback at the last meeting.
I know.
All right. Well,
I
in that
really
case-
did, I typed up notes, and I've been meaning to send it to Tom, the other stuff just
That
kind
wasn't here
of,
last meeting.
yeah, just, well, the one before, the one before that, when they went up, I think it was December.
Yeah, I think I texted you individually.
Yeah, yes. I knew
Oh.
I got your comments, because I remember a few things you said.
Oh,
But
if
you
there's
know,
something else, we
having-
can adjourn this portion of the meeting and move on to
Yeah.
further
Oh.
grant
Yes.
discussions?
I'm putting
Yes.
some of this, I think that was sort of old new business. Is there any other?
Any other
there's
old
any
new
other
business anyone has?
No, our next meeting is March 2nd? Oh, yeah, March
Yep,
2nd.
so there's, 28 days in February, so we'll be meeting again on March 2nd.
Jeez, okay, that's gonna
5:30.
come up really fast.
That'll be here really fast, yep.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we can adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Everyone in favor of adjourning?
Yes, I am.
Aye.
Oh, you have to go
Aye.
around?
Oh, do I have to go around?
Bye, Andrea.
Bye,
Thank you,
Andrea.
Andrea.
Thank
Mike, you
you.
want to adjourn?
Yes.
Catherine, you good to adjourn?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone?
Oh,